When starting with formulas, it's important to understand some of their fundamental syntax and behavior. Let's take a few moments to learn how formulas are structured and how to best interact with formulas. Let's first open up the sample file for Lesson 4. And it should be called Excel Formula Basics. The most basic formula that you can create in Excel is a formula that adds two constants together. Now, what do I mean by constants? Constants are hard-coded numbers that will stay constant. So for example, if I type in 1, no matter how many times I come back to the spreadsheet and no matter how many things have changed around it, that particular cell will be 1. That's a constant. If I put 5 here, again, that's a constant. 5 is 5. It'll always be 5. Now, when I add two constants, I can say equals 1 plus 5. That's a formula. And what you're doing here is you're giving Excel instructions. You're saying, hey, Excel, I want you to take 1 and add it to 5. Well, it means instead of typing in constants, I can just type in equals and then click on the cell that contains 1, which is G14. Then type in plus and then click on the cell that contains 5, which is H14. So my formula says, Excel, please add G14 plus H14. And when I press enter, that's what I get, 5 plus 1. Now the difference between using a constant and using a cell reference is that in the calculations that use cell references, the results will vary based on what the content of the cell is. That is to say, if I'm referencing a certain cell and then I change the value of that cell, my calculation will change its result. Let me show you an example. If I change the 1 to a 2 and hit enter, this particular result changed. It's no longer 6, but 7, because 2 plus 5 is 7. But the calculation using the constant didn't change. The reason is because we're using constants. So for example, if I type in 0.10 here and press enter, that's basically 10%. Now what I can do is put in a new formula here and say equals 100 times, and then create a reference to cell K12. Hit enter, I get the number 10. Why do I get the number 10? Because 100 times 0.10 is 10. Now what I can do is change this particular variable. I can change this to 0.25. 100 times 0.25 is 25. So what I've done here is I've created a calculation that mixes a constant and a cell reference. Now you'll notice that I didn't use the plus sign here. I used the multiply operator. There are different operators you can use in Excel. There's the addition operator. There's the subtraction operator or the negation operator. There's the multiply operator. Then there's the divide operator.